Welcome to the Trap House Podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe on all social media platforms. And now a quick word about our sponsors. We have Duke Traps with us. Check out duketraps.com. They manufacture over 40 different models of cage traps, coil and long springs, and body gripping style traps, as well as one of my personal favorites, the powder coated dog proofs. Check out duketraps.com. Need a place to sell your fur? Check out Groenwald Fur and Wool Company. Over 50 years in the fur business, the largest and most experienced direct receiver of wild fur in the world. Check out their website, gfwco.com. Top Lot Stretcher Company. They have all the fur processing tools you need to get the job done in the fur shed. From push pins to wooden stretchers, they got you covered. Check out toplotstretcherco.com. And this one's for the ladies that don't mind getting their hands a little dirty setting some traps. We have Trapping Girl Inc. with us. Check out their website, trappinggirlinc.com. They have a great selection of women's apparel, kids apparel, baits and lures, and trapping supplies. Check out trappinggirlinc.com. J3 Outdoors. They make American trapping products designed for maximum trapline efficiency with products like the Hags Bracket and Spring Clip, as well as the Universal Lock and Beaver Rod ends. Get the tools you need to get the job done. Find out more at j3o.com. And there's only one true way to start out the day on the trap line, and that's with a hot cup of coffee from Trapline Coffee. They have great tasting blends to choose from, as well as chocolates. Head over to traplinecoffee.com for more. Weeby Knives. Check out weebyknives.com. They have a great selection of skinning knives, fleshing knives, fur handling tools, and they'll give you the edge you need to get the job done, and you guessed it, they're wicked sharp. Check out weebyknives.com. And we'd like to welcome the newest sponsor to the team, No BS Lures. Don't let the name fool you. There's more than just bait and lure. This company offers trapline tools and hardware, fur handling supplies, and the No BS traps. Check out nobslures.com. And last but not least, Hoosier Trapper Supply, home of the Top Dog Predator Bait, Jet Fuel Predator Lure. We offer a complete line of trapping baits and lures, deer scent, trapline tools and hardware, fur processing tools, and special package offers. Head over to HoosierTrapperSupply.com. All right, welcome back to the Trap House Podcast, everyone. We got Stu Miller back with us from Coon Creek Outdoors. How you been, man?
Been doing good. Had a good summer.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long ago when we were chatting with you at the convention there, the national.
Yeah, the NTA, and now summer's over with, right?
Yeah. And this right now is like when I get the most excited. Like the convention season's kind of winding down. We're getting ready to dive in and actually do some trapping instead of talking about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's the plan.
I was gonna say, this is whenever I get the most nervous, right? Because it's like, oh, I'll just do that next week. Well, the problem is next week can be like a whole different season. You know, you're losing like 6 minutes a day, and leaves are changing. So I get all freaked out this time of year.
Yeah, and we close at 5:30. We're going to go to 6 o'clock here shortly. So then by the time I get home, I might have shortly I won't have any daylight left. And then, that gets that's kind of a downer too. So, but
yeah,
get spoiled with that daylight savings times during the summer where it's light till almost 10 o'clock, so, but.
Oh, well, you guys got it better than anything, because let me explain that you are on the far western side of the Eastern time zone, right?
Exactly. We're as good as it gets. And you guys are the first to
yeah. And so every time I come over and visit with you, it's like, man, if I could just have this during the winter, because I'm so jealous of that, because I mean it's dark here at 5 o'clock in the wintertime,
Yeah.
So you get no, I'm jealous. You guys got it good where you're at.
As you know, we come over and fish Illinois on occasion, and we always like, holy cow, it's getting dark a lot earlier over here.
Yeah, throw you off big time. Thanks for jumping back on. You're on at least once every
once a year.
Yeah, once every.
Yeah,
I think
winter.
The third time on, maybe
I think so.
But so we just you're always up to something cool. So we wanted to check in. What have you been up to lately, as far as outdoor things?
Nothing really cool this year. I didn't have any big projects this year. Kind of just wrapped up everything that I started from last year. But I've been doing a little bit of fishing, and little bit of running around. So no, it's been a fun summer. Not as stressful as the past few summers anyway.
Yeah.
When you get your usual ride to the NTA convention in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I feel like got my plane ride into the NTA again with Bill. That was a great time. So
Did you guys
no,
you guys stayed overnight, or were you there a couple days?
Yeah, we flew in. What did we fly in? Friday. We flew in Friday morning because we got there like around noon on Friday. Stayed all day Saturday, and then flew out Sunday morning.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
that was
it was cool. That was a fun NTA.
Yeah,
that was a good venue. That was fun for sure.
It was, and I was surprised, but I guess I shouldn't have been, being that far west, and of course being super hot, that it was attended really well. But going clear to Escanaba, which was almost in Canada, people show up for that one, and of course people come out of Canada for that one. But so yeah, with the NTA convention, I'm not sure it matters where it's at, people are going to show up. So it was.
Well, I talked to a lot of people. I guess kind of what you guys did. I talked to a lot of people though that were making it kind of a trip. I talked to a bunch of people from like Virginia, Kentucky, that area that had drove out. They spent like one day at the NTA and then they went up to the Black Hills and did, Mount Rushmore, and it made it kind of a vacation kind of deal. So I think, if you're, and then you had Sturgis going on right then too, I think, because there was a bunch of bikers in town. So you were right on that stop. So there was a lot of people. It was a good time frame, I guess, to bring people in.
Right. Yeah, we talked to a lot of people the same. They were just getting ready to do the Western Loop, even as far as Yellowstone or wherever. So, we have to admit that on Saturday when we left, we started heading west and went through the Black Hills too. Even though we were there a couple of years ago, it's just hard to be that close and not go to the Badlands, and
it's just got to go to the Badlands. I love it out there.
It's just too cool to miss out on, So, but
yeah. So, what's the itinerary this trapping season? I know you like to switch it up and do different things each season for your viewers and things, and kind of have fun with it. You kind of mentioned that to me at the national. Yeah, you were doing something a little different, I think, this time around.
Yeah, this year. So I got a call the other day. So I've got about 300 coons sold and about, I don't know, 25, 30 coyotes that I've got sold. And that's everybody wants to talk goals. That's all I want to catch, basically. I'm not going for any big numbers this year. I don't have any I'm not trying to break any big numbers. I want to do something fun. I've got 2 river lines lined up that I want to try to do. So I'll be trapping out of a boat on a river line. I kind of did a little bit last year testing the waters just to see what all I needed, before I jump in. So gonna do that. And then I don't know, just different things. Run around, do some like camping style trapping, working out of the truck, and just, I don't know, just mix it up a little bit. And one of those deals like in the past where I've had to have sets in the ground every single day of season kind of deal, and if I lose out, I think I'm doing something wrong. This year, I think I want to make, like, if I don't have sets in the ground, but I have like a 8-10 day span where I do what I want to do kind of thing. Because I mean, there's not enough money in the fur right now for me to go out and trap hard every single day of the season and try to make that. So if I can, go for a long weekend or something and trap someplace different and have a different experience, that's kind of what I'm going for this year. I think it'd be fun. It should be a lot less stressful, a little bit more relaxing, I think, too. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I mean, that's kind of what, realistically, that's what most trappers do, is they'll go run a line and then set something else up, take a break, get more time off work or whatever, and go do it again, So I think that back in the day, everybody was like, if season was in, you needed to have traps in the ground. And of course, that it's not realistic for most people nowadays. And as you said, the fur market doesn't really, require you to do that by any means. So, but yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. I got a couple of wall tents now, so I'm going to try to do a setup on like a sandbar kind of deal and trap out of a wall tent. I don't know, just not the trapping's going to be one part of it, but just all the other stuff that goes along with it's going to be a whole different thing too. So
yeah, I think that'd be awesome. When we first started going to Arkansas and some of those areas, it's just so beautiful through the mountains in there. It's like it would not be efficient whatsoever, but we're always like, man, it'd be cool if we camped or something. And then Charlie's like, well, then we got to shower and we got to do this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, darn it.
Well, we still could, but
We could, but it's a long way from home to just, when we're gone, we want to hit it hard. So it's hard to just do that kind of trapping, maybe around home. But I still want to run a river line though out of a boat. We've never really done that. Right. We've messed around with kayak stuff in marshes, but we've never just took off down a shoreline or anything or riverbank or that. I think that'd be a blast.
Here in Indiana, with the main river going through is the White River, and back in the 70s and 80s, that thing got burned up by trappers. I mean, there were several trappers that I can think of 3 or 4 that took it very serious, and they'd run 10, 14 days and then they pull out and move to a different section. Just it was they did very well and they hit it pretty hard. And that, of course, now it's all changed. We don't have muskrats like we did then. I mean, there's guys that caught 1,000 muskrats in a season or whatever, but yeah, that was a really big deal. And generally, you trap to the high water mark, so you're covered on with lack of or of permission, you can just go and do it. So, but yeah, it's kind of a good deal.
Didn't your brother Mark do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did it too. Yeah, that was back in the 90s. So
yeah, he had a couple of pretty big days on there. I remember hearing about.
Yeah, about so not compared to some, but I mean, I think he had days where he caught 30 some coon or whatever, so enough to skin. So
that's cool. So if you do the boat thing, what's the main target? Anything that's you see around, or is it like I'm doing beaver, or no, I'm just plugging in coon traps down, or?
Yeah, the way I did it last year, and I think I'll probably follow that same premise, is just load up everything in the boat and just start either going upriver or downriver and pick one side. And if I see sign, sit on it, and then go up as far as I feel comfortable or down or however it works, and then turn around and go down the other bank. Because like you said, I'd be trapping to the high water mark, so I wouldn't have to deal with permission. So
right.
Yeah, like I said, I just doing it just for the romance of it, basically. You know, I mean, just because I can't, not really targeting one specific thing, but I think it'd be cool. It'd be super fun, and then go back and, like I said, have a camp set up for a few days. So I don't know. I've got that camper truck thing I built last year too, so I thought about maybe taking off and doing a short little stint in that, and just setting up for little things like that rather than just going hard every single day.
Yeah,
burning yourself out like that. So. Because the prep's fun too. I mean, I don't know how you guys are, but like I enjoy the prep and setting up and all that other stuff. So if you get to do that a couple more times in the year, rather than just throw everything in the back of the truck, it'd be fun too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you using your big boat?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'll use it. It's just that thing. It's a great fishing boat, obviously, but it's a little harder to navigate whenever you start doing that, and then them shallow waters and everything. So I've got another boat that it'll be more ideal, let me say, to do that. So
going in the bank around, following the bank edge. Yeah, that would be.
Well, because you got to anchor it every time, and so I've got another boat that I can spike down real easy. It's a little lighter to move around and getting in and out, with waders and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, you used the word romance as far as like romanticize like the mountain men air and things, and it got me thinking it's just, you're still pretty high tech with that boat, so you might as well just canoe it and wear a loincloth and just go with it.
Well, I did that last year, actually. I did that last year. I've got a little 12-foot canoe. And I took 12 sets and I went down to the river and I canoed. And then I just like with my hiking camp, just on my back camp, little tent and everything. I did that for 3 days and just out of a canoe. And it was super fun. I mean, granted, I picked like the windiest 3 days out of the whole winter to do it too. So the whole time you're just fighting in that canoe, you know, because you just blow across the water. There's nothing on it. But yeah, it was super fun. And like I said, I think I come out of there with like 8 or 9 coon in 3 days. You know, I mean, it wasn't great, and that's all I had was some 1.5s and a couple of dog proofs. I caught a beaver in one, and it pulled out of a 1.5. But yeah, that was just fun. You know, I just paddled around, and then you know, went and camped, and I did some squirrel hunting, and just I don't know, it was just fun.
Yep.
So it wasn't super productive by any means, but yeah, I paddled until I got sore every single day, you know, up and down. That's kind of what I want to do again. Like I said, I did a few little trial runs last year, but little stuff like that. And you can just make a long weekend out of it too. You know, you don't have to dedicate a big chunk of time to it. That's kind of what I like about it. So
Right. You know, and the cool thing about running a river, and there are exceptions, but a lot of it looks the way it looked probably 200 years ago. You know what I mean? Subtract maybe if there's some floating trash or whatever, but overall, I mean, a lot of that is the way it was years ago. You know, it really doesn't really change. So,
oh yeah, and one thing I noticed, because like I said, I did one with a boat last year with a motor on it, obviously, and then I did another one with a canoe, and I I don't know, I probably made it, I don't know, up and down 3 miles each way with the canoe. With the motor, you're still going slow, but you've got that ability to go fast and get around. You just pick out so much more in that canoe, you know, because you're going so much slower. So that was just super fun. You know, that was one thing I noticed. Like, if you ever had to really like, if you had to pick out a small section of river, creek, or whatever you want to call it, if you had the option, definitely do a canoe, because you just see so much more, or a kayak or something like that, you know, as opposed to just ripping down and say, oh, I need to make it down to such and such creek, or, you know, it's 10 miles down. You're going to find a lot more stuff still just going slow and picking that apart meticulously. So
right.
it was fun.
There was a guy I went with when I was just out of high school, and he was trapping the river I was just talking about. And he used to, I think he had like a 16-foot Grumman or something. He had a pretty big canoe, but he had a motor on it. And he would basically just run the river on the bank, and he would essentially have, well, depending on which side of the river is on. His one leg was actually halfway out of the canoe. You know, and he just run up, stop, and make a set, or set root wads, or you know, whatever. And it was very productive. So
Yeah, you don't need a big boat not to do that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it was a perfect setup. You know, so
I'd like to do that where you're kind of hanging out and just go insane and set as many. I don't get, you know, we don't do a lot of water trapping per se because we're always, you know, catching coyotes or whatever in the fields. But I would love to just target mink. I think that would be so much fun on the river, trapping root wads like that and stuff. And anywhere they're finding where they're putting their head in every nook and cranny out there. So just plug every hole we can get. It'd be fun.
the thing that amazed me on when he was back then on the river was you could go to under a big tree root wad, and there wherever there was a little place, they just stick a one long spring in there, or a 1.5 long spring, and you catch a muskrat, and they might catch 4 or 5 just in one shot. It was like you couldn't do that right now if your life depended on it. You know, it was, and they did that year in, year out, you know, until basically we just started losing muskrats, and it wasn't because of trapping, it was other factors, but it's crazy. I was just blown away about, yeah, just stick it in there and catch a rat. He made it was so easy. But
so when you were running last year, you also mentioned, you know, you're setting traps, but you're also squirrel hunting. What's the law? You're in Illinois when you were doing this, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So if you're in a boat that's not powered,
non-motorized, yep. Okay.
Non-motorized, you can actually harvest it. It's not, they go specific kind of animal wise. So like the fur bearers, right? So like squirrels and stuff, you can hunt out of a canoe. So yeah, just paddling along with a 22 in my lap, and you know, you see a squirrel, and then I went again, and I had my old Savage 22-20, you know, so you had a shotgun and a rifle combo. And I mean, I don't know, it's just cool. Just easing along through there. And I mean, like I said, it's just something that kind of out of the ordinary, that just fun to do. So
right.
yeah. And then like I said, I had a little camp set up, went back, cooked squirrel. I mean, it was just fun. So
Yeah.
That alone's fun, even if you didn't add the elements of all the trapping along with it
Yeah.
too, like squirrel hunting. You guys were talking, I didn't know about it. You mentioned something about a squirrel festival or something that you went to.
yeah, so I got roped into supplying fish for the World Squirrel Cook-Off this year. And
That's
it's a really cool deal, actually.
yeah,
That's in Arkansas, right?
Yep, in Springdale, Arkansas. And I guess they've had it for this is my first year, so I was new to it, but I guess they've had it for like 14 or 15 years now. And it's the Arkansas Department of Wildlife Fish and Game that kind of helped them put it on. It was actually at kind of their
oh, okay.
headquarters or something. There was a big building, kind of like similar like a fairground, but they had a really cool museum that you could walk through there, kind of a conference center. But yeah, they ran. It's a 1 day deal from like 9 to 5, and they ran like 7,000 people through this thing.
Jeez.
It was crazy. They had like the big city buses, the Metro Link buses and stuff. They had 3 of them things running nonstop, loading and unloading people all day long, rifling through this. And really what it amounted to was it was just a bunch of people that came and cooked wild game food and handed it out for free to people. And that, I mean, I ate nonstop for 6 hours. I mean, it was, and everybody gives out these little samples. I mean, it was the coolest thing. And then, like I said, I supplied 200 pounds of catfish fillet, so there was a free fish fry. There was guys doing wild hogs, squirrels, and then on top of it, then they had a squirrel skinning contest. So that big pile of squirrels there is whoever skinned it the fastest. They had a raw oyster eating contest for the kids. They had a bunch of different kids get. I mean, it was just they had a band. It was just a really cool deal. I mean, I didn't know about it, but yeah, it was up until this year, but it was really interesting. It was fun. So
Yeah.
That is fun.
So what was did they have any like beaver or muskrat or anything like that too, or do you know?
yeah, oh yeah, there was anything and everything wild game that you could think of. And then they had a competition. I think there was like 40 teams that actually entered this competition. They had a judge panel that judged all this stuff, and they picked a winner at the end of the day. But like I said, the whole time people were just handing out. So I mean, I had groundhog chili, and there was, I think, what was it, a muskrat tortellini risotto or something. I mean, just like off the wall stuff.
Awesome.
Off the wall stuff that you would never think. I mean, for me, it's like squirrel. You fry it, or
Right.
squirrel and gravy or something. Like the 3 things. Oh no, anything. There was a squirrel cookie there. There was like a cookie made with squirrel, and they cooked it on a grill. I mean, just anything and everything. I think the thing that won the competition was like a squirrel chicken bacon ranch pizza. I mean, it was anything and everything you could think of. I can't even remember all the stuff that I went through, but it was wild. So no, it was fun. It was a good time.
Did they drizzle like the squirrel gravy over the pizza?
Oh yeah, it was like I said, a squirrel cookie, and then there was a jambalaya.
That's
There was
awesome.
there was wild hog barbecue. There was a bunch of guys smoking a bunch of wild hog, but it was all wild game stuff. It wasn't anything, your pork, beef, or whatever. It was all wild game, and
That's cool. You said what was in the museum? You said there was a museum.
yeah, they had I guess it was a museum walkthrough. It was the Arkansas Department of Wild Game or Fish and Game. They put it on. It was like a kind of like a museum setup, a big path walkthrough. They've got a real nice facility there, and it told of course Arkansas, they've got bears and fish, and just it was a really nice put together thing there. And like I said, 7,000 people, and I bet probably 75-80% of these people never deal with this but once a year, and it was so cool to see everybody come around and eat. And I don't know, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. So I had a good time there.
Got me intrigued. I would love to go to that.
I'm assuming they had alligator too.
There was alligator there. there was one old boy from Louisiana, and he brought up a lot of stuff from the Gulf there.
Yeah.
But the one thing that stands out, he had some crappie ceviche that I've made 2 batches since I've got home. It was awesome. But yeah, they did it. They had some seafood and different things like that. There was frog leg. I mean, just like I said, anything wild game that you could think of, there was somebody there cooking it. And it wasn't that big of a venue area. So I mean, you was real compact into this little area, and yeah, pretty cool little setup there. So props to the Arkansas Department of Fish and Game, because and the World Squirrel Cook-Off, because they put it on. Brent Reeves and Clay Newcomb was there with Meat Eater, so that was a big draw. Obviously, too, they did one of their podcast shows there. So
Yeah,
it was a pretty big event to run through that many people in that short amount of time.
So how do you make crappie ceviche?
So
are you is that completely raw to begin with before it hits the acid?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's basically you're just pickling it in lime and lemon juice, and kind of cooking it, so to speak, but yeah, and then add whatever else you want, vegetable wise, garlic, onions, peppers, radishes, really anything, vegetable wise to it. But and I've tried to make it before, and I've watched not a lot of people do it with their freshwater fish. It's real big and for saltwater fish. Yeah, with ocean fish. But the gentleman that had cooked it, I that was the coolest thing too, was you could talk that people were super friendly. So if you found something that you really liked, not everybody gave out their recipe, obviously, but I mean they talked to you. But this guy with the ceviche, that's what he told me. He's like, whenever you do the freshwater fish, he said you gotta keep it in that pickle for at least 24 hours. And I'd always went off the saltwater thing, and they do that pretty quick. They're within just a couple hours, maybe 6-7 hours or something. And honestly, I've never. Every time I made a batch, I've always ate it before it got to that 24-hour point. But that's what he said with those freshwater fish. Let it set 24 hours. He also said he'd only do it with ever crappie. He wouldn't do it with any other freshwater fish that, maybe bluegill or something, but it was very good. I sampled that 3 different times.
I think some of that's related to like a safety concern with freshwater fish.
Yeah, all the stuff in.
Yeah, parasites or whatever. It's a bigger issue, but
yeah. But I mean, I don't know. There's unsafe stuff in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever seen that show called Monsters Inside Me?
I don't think so.
It's a crazy show. It's been a while since I watched it, but it's people that get sick or something's wrong with them. They can't really figure out what it is. And then they reveal, once they figure it out, it's like some parasite or something crawling in their skin. It's it's real dramatic, but some of the stories on there, probably from ceviche.
Probably from eating, probably from eating like raw alligator or something.
Yeah, stuff that's crazy. It's like, but yeah, sometimes it's from raw food or uncooked stuff on there, and it's like the crap they end up going through. It's like, oh, I guess next time I want mine well done, just in case. But then I get over it in about a week, then I'm like, I don't care. Oh yeah.
So Stu, we have you down on you're coming to the rendezvous on Saturday.
Big day Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So I guess the weather's a little bit up in the air. We got this potential effects of a hurricane. So whatever it is, everybody's trappers. We'll have tents set up, and whatever. We'll deal with it. But
good way to bring him in, Charlie. There's a hurricane coming. Like, what the?
No, it'd be a good time.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time. You guys got plenty of tents. I've been there. I've seen it. You guys got plenty of tents. It'll be a good time. So.
Yeah, it'll be good. So we got you down for 3 o'clock in the afternoon for a water trap down at the creek. You're gonna cover like mink and coon and muskrats and whatever.
I guess. I don't know. I go into these anymore with just a real open mind, and hopefully maybe let the crowd dictate. But yeah, I figured with being the middle of the Midwest and the small creeks and stuff, I thought I'd focus on kind of how I set up the small ditches, maybe target like coon, mink, muskrat, and then just also kind of maybe have a beaver set there. you know, some people may, I trap a lot of small creeks and stuff that have beaver in it. So
Yeah.
just kind of do the rundown of what I go into. A lot of my water trapping around here, probably like a lot of you guys, is not necessarily targeting one critter so much as just let's see what signs there and put something out and hope we catch something,
Right.
you know,
Right.
regardless of what it is. So,
Right.
because I love water trapping. I mean, it's, if I lived up in Minnesota, I'd probably be bored with it because they have more water up there than they have land. But around here, if I find flowing water, I get all excited, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just different.
Have you been to the creek here before?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I walked down to it last year. So
Okay. So there, I mean, there's pipes, you know, culvert pipes coming in, the whole thing, and of course the bridge is right there. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities right there in that small spot. So
oh yeah. No, it'd be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a blast. We've been fortunate all these years, and just everyone shows up, you know,
Yeah.
even on like you said, it could be nasty out. We've only really had one time, I think, that was pretty kind of cold and dreary and nasty, but and we still had so many people. We just, hey, it's trappers. You just deal with it.
Well, it's kind of cool because it feels like fall. I mean, it's, you know,
Really gets you
fall
fired up.
weather, it's cool weather, whatever. So yeah, it's just,
We'll start a couple fires, throw a log on, you know, stand by the fire, and
yeah, whatever we need to do.
get that barbecue smoke in the air, and everyone gets fired up.
If it's going to rain, bring an umbrella or rain jacket and you'll still have fun. No,
That's right. That's exactly right. So when we got Johnny Logan and the Roughnecks for the lunchtime entertainment. So
Yeah. A couple guys I know that work and run the Duke's Indy is a honky tonk we have in town, and they run that. We invited them over to play, so should be a good time. They play more like outlaw country, sort of, you know, a little retro vibe to it, some acoustic stuff mixed in with a little electric. So it'll be good lunchtime entertainment.
Oh yeah.
I will say our first demo starts at 9:15. So anyone listening, get here for that. It's going to be Matt Bredaway and Jared Shake. They've been on our Who's Your Trapper Outdoors show. Good guys, great trappers. They're probably better guys than they are trappers. I don't know yet.
they're
We're
good.
figuring it
They're
out.
good trappers.
They are. They do a good job. And so yeah, they're kicking things off. Coffee and donuts are at 8, so we'll all be here early. And we got fur handling before lunch. Tom Morlock, he's like an expert in the water. I'm sure you know his name to some degree, and he always does a good demo. And he's going to target otter trapping this year. So he's got a lot of tricks in the bag for what he does, being a nuisance trapper. He traps year round, so his style varies depending on the time of year. And so we got a good lineup, you know.
So yeah, everybody show up and spend the day. I got to tell you, Stu, I was at the Indiana State Trappers meet over the weekend, and there was a young guy, and I think last year was his first year trapping, and he said, "Oh, I just found your YouTube channel." Like, he goes, "I've been watching. I would normally watch Coon Creek." And I told him, I said, "Well, you got to come next weekend because Stu's going to be there." And he just broke out in a smile. He goes, "Man,"
he started crying.
no,
No, I'm just kidding.
no, he broke out in a smile. He goes, I just want to meet a famous trapper."
Yeah.
Oh man.
So he's excited for you to be here. So
Bring your Sharpie. You're gonna be signing. You need to make posters now instead of just T-shirts and stuff. You gotta sign them up. Of course, I always like Jerry Ann's gonna do a little talk after lunch. She's our fur bearer biologist here in Indiana, and
Well, you guys got a lot to talk about though this year, right? With the
yeah,
Bobcat
I mean,
deal.
she gets hounded all the time, I'm sure, about Bobcats. But this year in particular, since we're right on the edge of having a season for 2025, so everyone, you know, is probably going to be picking her brain about all that stuff.
right.
So we'll see what she's got to say. And yeah,
It took our legislature to get us a season, basically, and the legislature is requiring our Department of Natural Resources to have a Bobcat season, but they're letting the DNR set up all the regulations, rules, you know, parameters of the season. So it's kind of best case scenario, really. So, but we still got to get through our public comment period where people come out and complain about it or or in favor of it either way, so it's just kind of our process here in our state. I think most states are like that actually, but anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they actually upped the allowable permits this year in Illinois.
Good.
Because I mean, they could have called any one of us 5 years ago and asked us how's the population, but it has to go through the system. But they've now established that they feel there's a high enough population that they want to double the harvest in Illinois, which I mean, we've struggled. It took me 7 years to draw a tag last year.
Right.
And I caught, 11 cats within, 60 miles of my house. I mean, there's no shortage of population, but I don't know how you guys are doing. But see, the way Illinois is set up is that you draw one permit and you can either trap it or hunt it. And that to me is where the problem is occurring in Illinois is, for one, you got the burning party. You've always got that as a write-off. The PETA people that they get the tags and they just tear them up and burn them. So that information is false to begin with. But then you have all these people that are getting a cat tag for shotgun season who are really only out there for the 7 days of shotgun season.
Yeah, and the fancy one, that one might as well burn that one up too.
Burn that one up too, where you got the trappers who are out there who are catching them or can catch them and harvest them, but they don't have the opportunity because they're not divvying up tags, to hunters or trappers. That's
right.
And that's where I actually spoke with our biologist. I did some nuisance work there about a month or so ago. And I have to get a permit in order to do the nuisance work and call a biologist. And I was asking him about that. I was like, why don't you guys split this up? You get a lot better data coming back, because you're getting false data right now because you're just lumping everything into one group. So I don't know. We'll see how that comes through. I'm curious. I'm going to give him a holler here for trapping season, see if he came up with something, because it's like some of these things are just so common sense, to think, well, that's how you get your data, but
yeah,
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, some of the things, but
right.
Still grateful to have one. So
right, exactly.
They doubled it, you said? What's it up to, you said?
The permits.
So they're gonna double the allowable permits this year in order to try to double the harvest.
Which would be what number though?
So I think, and I haven't heard exactly. Maybe that information's out. I've kind of lost track. I think they want to try to actually kill 1,000 of them this year instead of 500.
Okay.
And they're falling short every year. But the cats are out there, So, and I may be off on that. I didn't even really want to say those numbers because I may be off. But I know that they're
trying
to double
Look for yourself online.
Yeah, no, and I once the information, and that's why I haven't done anything at it, because I haven't for sure found a solid, information on it yet. But that's the idea. But in my mind, like I said, you've got to split those up, and your hunters are not going to be able to kill what the trappers are going to, so obviously. But yeah, that's the idea. They've done, I guess, a population study, and they're now figuring out that there is a lot of cats here. And well, we all knew that, for a long time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cats. I mean, and that's the funny thing. I mean, I can tell you right now, there's more cats in my area than there are fox, and has been for a long time.
I wouldn't doubt that in some areas in Indiana as well. They're just, of course, our fox numbers. The gray foxes are basically non-existent, and the reds are, pockets of them. But here in Indiana, they've got proposed. It's very conservative. 250 quota. So anybody can go out and catch them, but once the quota is met, then the season's over. That's how they're going to do it here. But 250, one per person, trapping only. So it's very, like I said, it's very conservative to start with, and it may change by the time they actually get
100% in stone, but that's kind of what we're here.
I don't see the quota changing unless there's just so much public outcry. But trappers got to be on their A game for this one for sure. But anyways, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But and obviously the 250 quota, they've got room to go up, so and maybe even add a hunting season to it in the future. But anyways,
and that might have been what Illinois. I kind of honestly, I I haven't read up on it yet for the year. It was 250 or 500 or something. And they want to double it basically. And
Right.
you know, obviously their number was low. And like I said, I can tell you just from, I mean, because they post the results per county every year, and I honestly haven't looked at them since last year. But that's one thing. Whenever you're catching that many cats and not trying that hard, like
yeah,
because I mean it is something that's hard to, I would say that's a hard critter to get an accurate population count on, you know, unless you're talking to a bunch of trappers. But to go out and actually, you know, trap them or count, I mean, I would think that would be a difficult critter to get an accurate population number on.
yeah,
I think so too.
yeah. Purdue did a study. It was quite extensive study, and they were basically just working off of like home range, which to me sounded bigger than, and I don't remember the parameters of home range. And then they were all
fairly large.
It was bigger than what I would have thought, and there had to be overlap. And then suitable habitat. So that, you know, that was their guidelines for coming up with what they did on the quota. So it was, like I said, very conservative, and they will admit that it's very conservative. At least we got a starting point. So
Oh yeah,
you know.
yeah, anything's better than nothing. So
right. So
yeah. How's Ohio set up?
They don't have a season. They got shot down like we did.
That's right. It's like, man.
Yeah, they don't have. So everybody around
it gets what, 5 per licensed trapper?
So everybody around us has got a season except for Ohio doesn't have one yet. They need one. They should have one, but it got real political, obviously, so they don't have one. But
yeah,
so
hopefully time will tell.
Oh, that's going around a lot too. I don't know if you guys been keeping up with the mountain lion thing in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
I'm hoping if they can win that. Of course, a couple things. One, if they lose, they know they did everything they could to fight it. I think they've been really, really active. We had Dan Gates on the podcast back in the spring.
About a month. Oh yeah.
Back at and he's that one heading that up. But yeah, if they can win that, then that really is going to set a precedent, I think, you know. So
he's doing a hell of a job.
But
you can't put politics into that kind of stuff. So.
It should never be, you know, and I don't know, you know, we don't allow ballot initiatives in Indiana, but to put a something like that on a ballot for just the general public to decide, it shouldn't, you know, that's just the way their state's set up. But you know, anything with wildlife management should be left up to the
professionals.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
The people that do it every day. So yeah. So you know, in all the years that I've been in the around Indiana, we've lost a ruffed grouse season. That's the only thing we don't have a season for. And we've gained so many other seasons, and you know, the ruffed grouse is basically a loss of habitat thing. But we've gained so many things in my lifetime that we didn't have before. So it's like our state DNR, the wildlife biologists, are all doing a great job. We just need to trust them to just continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, they got the credentials to be making more better judgment calls on what should and shouldn't be done.
Right.
Versus Granny down the road that's never done anything.
Yeah.
Or whoever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
shouldn't have said that about that lady. No, but what else we got on the demo? We're cheating off the demo list here. We're doing a skunk trapping demo that's specified skunk only. So that's interesting. You know, you gotta change it up a little bit. Jim Tate's doing predator trapping. Then Charlie and I are going to do a Q&A basically on anything trapping related. I've never done one out here. All these years of being here since what, 05 is when we started doing here. I've never went out to, because I'm always just running around with, you know, helping set up stuff, breaking tents or whatever, lining up the music, or more of a jack of all trades, behind the scenes guy. But I guess someone's going to actually listen to me for once.
Maybe.
He'll correct me on my information. I'll say something like, no, that's not right. Don't do what Justin does. Well, it's going to be fun. And of course, we'll have stuff for the kids. We're going to do the Calcutta course, and then we're going to have like a little kids zone. They can come at will where they can do whatever. Usually they do whatever they want anyway. It seems like they'll start stacking straw bales and making tent forts and everything else. And it's like, well,
Go for it.
don't break an arm. We'll be good.
Yeah, there was a guy last year I was talking with. He's like, this is one of the few places I can come here. I can let my kid go and I feel completely safe. He said, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just heard that recently from someone else. Scotty Fry told me that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a relatively small place. There's adults everywhere. You know, what can happen? So,
Well, adults everywhere.
I know, loose term.
Adult age people. Let's just go
Yeah.
with that.
Go, there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
But and of course we do have the white elephant auction for people listening. If you're coming, if you got something you want to throw in to help, raise money basically for fur takers for the bigger picture at the end of the day is to fight the good fight to keep trapping going on. So that's where it all goes to. So if you got some old 1.5s and you're not going to trap anymore with those, or you're upgrading and you just want to put it up there on the, let us auction them off. That's great. Anything trapping related is great, or outdoor related, really. It helps out a lot.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Are you gonna bring something, Stu? What do you got? An autograph picture or something?
Yeah, I got I welded up a trapping hammer. We're gonna auction off. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Custom hammer. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it pretty much what you would use, or same mechanical, or?
Yeah, same general thing. Yep.
Cool. Nice.
Yep, long handle, big AR-50 spade on it. So yeah, like a big predator hammer. So.
Oh, nice. You still making any more of those fleshing board or beams that were PVC?
Well, see, the problem is with that is that pipe is so expensive to make. That's really what the downfall of that is. That stuff, and so I haven't been able to come up with enough quantity yet to make it. They make really good fleshing beams. They really do. But like I said, that stuff is just so crazy expensive. That you just kind of if you find a deal on it to buy it, then it's good. But if not, it's really not justifiable to go out and buy a full stick of it new. So
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You got any last comments, Stu?
Yeah. Anything you want to wrap this up with?
No, I'm just looking forward to the rendezvous. I hope the weather's going to be good, and even if it isn't, we'll still have fun. But
yeah, we'll make it work.
This is now my 4th year coming in, and so this is the start of fall now.
Like the marker.
After this, it goes. You kind of get revved up during the NTA, but it's still 100 degrees. So you're like, but now the leaves are changing, and it's just nights are getting cooler and the days are getting shorter. So this is kind of my new kickoff to be.
Yeah,
we gotta get going now. So
yeah. So hey, one last question: when are you going to get started on regular trapping videos?
I'm gonna start after this October 1st.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. October 1st, I'm gonna try to do this year. I'm gonna try to do 2 videos a week, Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not sure if I can do long format videos for both days, but we'll have a short format and a long format. I'm gonna try to dive into a little bit more of the short format videos this year.
Okay.
I've never really done that, but just something short, tip, trick, something that doesn't take you 15 minutes to sit down and watch. So I don't know, it'd be different. I've been doing this so long now, you kind of gotta get creative at a certain point, or else you got to do the same stuff over and over, and I don't want to do that. So
yeah.
So everybody watch out. Coon Creek Outdoors YouTube.
Yeah, October 1st we're gonna fire up again, so should be fun.
Sweet. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yep, I'll be there.
Yeah, and if anyone listening that catches this podcast after the fact and the rendezvous is over and you wanted to come, just go ahead and mark it down. It's been this way for a long time. It's always the last Saturday of September. So just keep that in mind.
Yep, it'll be this time for 2025.
Yep, we'll do it again next year, different lineup, and always have a good time. So.
And Stu will probably be there.
I'll be there. I'll be there for sure.
Bring some of that catfish one year, man. You're probably out now.
Yeah, I got an empty freezer now, but next year I'll bring some. We'll have to have a fish fry next year. We'll put that on the itinerary.
You probably got them spoiled on that squirrel cook-off. You probably have to take it down there next year too.
Yeah, there was already mention of it. That's a lot of fish. I don't think anybody realized how much 200 pounds of fillets were until I opened up the bed of my truck and saw them coolers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Heck yeah.
I felt sorry for them old boys cooking. They had a pile of empty propane tanks and cookers lined up.
As long as it tastes good in the end, I'm sure it was worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch you later, and yeah, we'll see you soon. And share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff to help the channel grow if you can, listening. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Sounds good. Y'all have a safe week.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.